This is the universe of Power Rangers. This is also a universe of the Power Rangers. This is also a universe of the Power Rangers. And this is a universe of the Power Rangers. And this is also a power... You kind of see where I'm going with this. So if you didn't know, the Power Ranger franchise has a lot of universes. A lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean like 4 or 5. But to get the gist of it, in this video, we're going to be going over the different multiverses and different universes in the franchises of the Power Rangers series. So let's get right into it. Now, you could say that Power Rangers has an Into the Spider-Verse gimmick going on for it, where it's got all these different universes and alternate timelines going for it, which is kind of true. It does have that going for it with all the different media of Power Rangers that we've gotten throughout the past 25 years or so. So that's a good way to explain it. But the best way to explain it is by using the image from Dimensions in Danger, where Wes, Gemma, and Coda came out of the portal, because they're the best reputations of those characters in those dimensions. So the best way to explain it is RPM and Dino Charge are two totally separate universes from the main one that Wes came out of in that episode. So the universe of RPM in the Power Ranger franchise is like Mad Max, machines rule the world, Terminator stuff going on, the world is nearly destroyed, Vengeance rules over it, and basically humanity is nearly extinct is the best way of putting it, so the Rangers are fighting for survival. RPM is a good series if you haven't watched it. If you only grew up with Mighty Morphin or you only remember Mighty Morphin, go watch RPM. RPM is seriously underrated and needs to be watched more often. And then you've got Dino Charge. Dino Charge was another season that got placed in its own universe to the end, where dinosaurs never went extinct. So in that universe of Dino Charge, the dinosaurs never went extinct, which Coda said in the episode.
Well, there are a few different dimensions, and Rangers exist in all of them.
I'm from the world of the RPM Rangers. We live on an Earth ruined by an evil computer virus.
I am Caveman from Dino Charge World, where dinosaurs not extinct.
And then you've got Wes. Wes is sort of the main timeline where every series of Power Rangers we've seen so far, except for the ones I've mentioned, RPM and Dino Charge, they take place in the main continuity. So RPM and Dino Charge are in their own totally different universes, where everything from Mighty Morphin to, I believe, Beast Morphers, excluding RPM and Dino Charge, that's the main universe. They're the main timeline where everything went from 1993 to current day right now, and then in space is like a few years in the future, unless they retcon that later down the line, which is a video discussion for another day. But basically the main timeline is the one that Wes came from, and the other dimensions are other dimensions, if you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully I haven't confused you guys at all, because if I have, this video is going to fail badly, so hopefully you guys are still keeping up. And then you've got your alternate continuities, like the Power Rangers movie with Ivan Ooze.
Whoa, where's my autograph book? Ah!
And then the 2017 movie, which is also an alternate continuity. Next up is the Power Rangers comic. Now, the Power Ranger comic does get a bit complicated with how this multiverse works in the world of the comics, but it's practically the same when you think about it. So, the Power Ranger comic is basically the Power Rangers universe that we know about. Everything I've said before still exists, except some events played out differently and did its own storyline, such as Shattered Grid and stuff like that. That's totally its own thing. So with the Power Ranger universe, it's the same Mighty Morphin characters that you know and love, but instead of being set in 1993, it's basically set in modern day. They're the modern day generation Power Rangers. They're basically you and me when you think about it. They're Gen whatever they are. Gen Rangers, we'll call them Gen Rangers. Generation Rangers in this new day and age, that's what we'll call them. So the Power Ranger comics does its own thing, and it has its own multiverse. Like I said earlier, you've got Dino Charge in its own universe, RPM in its own universe, yada yada yada, stuff I said like that. And then you get to Shattered Grid, and Shattered Grid is when things got complicated, because when Lord Drakon basically broke the morphing grid and disturbed the way things work, all the different seasons of Power Rangers you've watched became their own separate universes, cut off from one another, jumping around the place doing their own thing. And because of the events in Shattered Grid in the comics, the timeline in the comics have been muddled up, and they are going in their own weird alternate continuity, such as Necessary Evil and moving forward, but that's a totally different story that I'll have to move in for another day. And of course in the comics you've got their alternate timeline, their alternate universe called the World of the Coinless. Now everyone knows about World of the Coinless if you're a Power Rangers fan, but in case you're out of the loop, World of the Coinless is an alternate universe in the Power Ranger comic timeline where Tommy remained evil and basically ruled the entire world with Rita Repulsa, eventually killing her and taking the throne for himself, where he basically ruled the world. He ruled the earth. He took it over and ruled it with an iron throne. It was some pretty crazy shit. If you haven't seen that story arc of the comic, I recommend you guys checking it out. It's pretty cool. And of course, if I didn't bring it up, people will probably be asking me why I didn't bring it up, and that is the discussion of Beast Morphers. People are still debating and speculating, where does this season take place? Is it in the mainline continuity? Is it in one of the different universes? Is it its own separate universe? No one really knows at this point, so we don't really know, and my guess it's in the main universe, and that's my big speculation, that it takes place in the main Power Rangers universe, but we don't know for sure, so guess we'll find out next season of Season 2 of Beast Morphers, but for now, everything's up in the air. Anyway guys, that's the Power Rangers Multiverse in a nutshell. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, I just didn't know how to go about it. Hopefully I did it in the best way possible, where I explained the Power Rangers Multiverse to my subscribers and the people watching, or anyone randomly stumbling upon this video. I really hope it helped them out to explain a few things with how sometimes complicated the Power Ranger Multiverse can get. But if this video did help you out, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, and bye.